But on a sunny July day in 2005 he disappeared, leaving barely a trace under strange circumstances while on a fishing trip off the California coast, and was presumed to be lost at sea. Olivia never stopped thinking about him, says a family friend. Yet investigators hired by a distraught Newton-John raised the possibility that the love of her life had faked his own death, fleeing her to escape a mountain of debt and personal problems. Patrick's disappearance has never been explained, and she always wondered if he was still out there alive. It preyed on her mind, and though her life moved on, she never forgot him. Investigators have scoured the planet searching for McDermott. Through the years there have been more than 30 possible sightings of him, allegedly still alive in Mexico and South America. Each time he was supposedly found, it tormented Olivia, says the family friend. Though she was happily married and had moved on, a part of her clung to his memory. Dashing and athletic, McDermott met Newton-John on the set of a TV advert. 9 years her junior, he supported her through difficult days after her breast cancer diagnosis in 1992. The singer of hits including Physical and Xanadu, who found international fame with 1978 blockbuster movie Grease, had been unlucky in love. Her first marriage to American actor Matt Lattanzi ended in divorce in 1995 after 11 years, leaving her with their daughter Chloe, and a string of subsequent romances fell apart until she met McDermott in 1996. They traveled the world together, from London to Sydney to South Korea. They had ups and downs like many couples but seemed destined to tie the knot. "You truly are an incredible human being and someone so special to this whole planet," McDermott told her when she starred on Australian television's version of This Is Your Life. "And if we could all just be a little bit like you, we'd all be a little better off. I love you with all my heart." But on June 30, 2005, McDermott boarded the fishing vessel Freedom at the Los Angeles port of San Pedro for a 22-hour fishing trip, and never came home. He frequently signed up for overnight deep-sea fishing trips, often taking along Chance, his 13-year-old son by his first marriage. But on this occasion he was alone and knew nobody aboard. When the boat returned the next day there was no head count as the 23 passengers disembarked, and nobody noticed if McDermott was among them. Newton-John was travelling in her Australian homeland on an environmental promotional tour, and then moved on to stay at a secluded private retreat, unaware her partner had gone missing. Amazingly, his absence was not noted for 11 days, when he failed to appear at a family event and his ex-wife, American actress Yvette Nipper, called the dockyard. The marina manager Frank Liversedge opened a belt bag that had been left aboard the Freedom, and found McDermott's wallet, cash and car keys. His car was still parked nearby. The Coast Guard immediately launched an investigation into whether McDermott had jumped, fallen or been pushed overboard, yet, without witnesses, officers were ultimately forced to conclude that he was simply lost at sea. Liversedge, however, disagreed. "I believe Patrick got off that boat when it was tied to my dock, and walked off." McDermott's galley tab for 2 hot dogs and a drink had been paid only an hour before the boat returned to harbor, a time when nobody was asleep or distracted by fishing. From that point back to the dock, it's almost 1,000,000 to 1 odds that a guy could fall overboard, jump overboard, be pushed overboard, without half of the boat seeing it, said Liversedge, who claimed that several anglers saw McDermott disembark. Only after his disappearance did McDermott's more troubled side emerge. The suave hunk who appeared on Newton-John's arm on Hollywood red carpets was struggling with financial woes. He had declared bankruptcy in 2000, and 5 years later still owed child support payments. Some speculated that he may have been upset over a possible breakup with Newton-John. Yet friends claim he showed no signs of depression. "He seemed fine," said Elaine Lampert. "He was happy. He is a wonderful father, and nobody can believe that he just disappeared." Newton-John, initially too distraught to comment on his loss, said, "For those of us who know and love him, it has been a truly heartbreaking experience." She hired private investigators to look into the possibility that McDermott was still alive, faking his death to flee demons that she could only guess at. In fact, McDermott had been something of a shapeshifter since infancy. Records indicate that he was born Kim Chong-nam in Seoul, South Korea in 1956, believing his parents to be a Korean woman and an American man. Given up for adoption, he was taken in by the McDermott family who brought him to the States when he was 2 years old. In Hollywood he ran his own film company with the tantalizing name, Twice Alive Productions. Tips about his whereabouts soon began pouring in, claiming that he had been spotted in Mexico's Baja Peninsula just across the California border, where Americans could visit without showing a passport. Only a year after his disappearance, several locals claimed to have seen the movie maker in the Mexican resort town of Cabo San Lucas, and nearby Todos Santos. "I am absolutely positive," said a bar manager who claimed to have sighted him sipping a beer. "Truthfully, there aren't many people who could look like this man." Eduardo Mejia, whose father owned a cafe in El Pescadero, claims to have confronted McDermott after seeing his photograph when investigators came searching. "When I told him that some people came to ask for him, he grabbed a black bag from his car, sat down on a table, took out a checkbook, and then he tells me, 'How much does your silence cost?'" Mejia told NBC TV. Assuring McDermott that he would not reveal his whereabouts, Mejia replied, "I don't want money." He spoke further with the man he believes was McDermott, and concluded, he is not interested in talking with anyone. He is not interested in giving a trace or a sign that he is doing well or not. Newton-John told People magazine some time ago that she refused to believe McDermott could fake his own death, if only because he would not abandon his teenage son. But she confessed to feeling uneasy at the mystery surrounding his disappearance. "It creates that, what if?" she said. "And I don't know." Each passing year brought fresh sightings, though none was ever confirmed. Tormented, Newton-John had no choice but to carry on. She eventually found happiness with her second husband Johnny Sterling, an environmentalist and the founder of a herbal products company, in 2008. "I'm very lucky to be married to a wonderful man," she said last year. But they had to deal with the recurrence of her breast cancer in 2013 and then again in 2017, when it had spread to her bones and lower back. She continued to be haunted by the disappearance of McDermott, who would be 65 years old if still alive today. "He was lost at sea and nobody really knows what happened," she said in an interview. "It's human to wonder, but you have to accept and let go. I don't think I will ever really be at peace with it."